James here from Guitarist.com, and in today's lesson I'm going to show you how to play Losing My Religion by R.E.M. I'm mainly going to show you how to strum the song so that you could, sing it or perform it in some way, but I'm also going to show you how to incorporate that intro melody that's played on a mandolin. I'll show you how to put it into the strumming and into the chords so that it seamlessly fits in, just to, really tell people like, oh, that's going to be Losing My Religion. They'll know before you even start singing that that's going to be the song. Other than that, the chords on this tune are pretty basic. The first verse is great if you're a very beginner. It just goes between A minor and E minor. Now the strumming is a bit more complicated. The pattern is twice as long as most of our strumming patterns are, but we'll break it down, we'll go over that, and as long as you count it out, it's not too bad. If you do need help with the basics, I have a couple resources for you. There's my free ebook, it's free for all my subscribers. It goes over chords, chord switching, strumming, all the basics. And if you want like a step-by-step guided tour through all that stuff, I have a complete beginner's course that is like my ebook, but with a ton more stuff. It's like over 80 video lessons and hundreds of audio play-alongs. Comes with a booklet, comes with a practice guide, so you know exactly what and when to practice every single thing. And in about 12 weeks, it'll take you through all the basics and get you to the point where you're ready to start tackling some intermediate stuff. So check that out if you're interested in the easier, quicker way to get where you want to be. Other than that, we're going to get started with the chord shapes, and our first chord is an A minor. From there, we switch to E minor. And we'd be doing that a whole bunch of times. So it's a good idea to figure out how to switch from A minor to E minor efficiently. And I find if we have our A minor chord like this, we lift all our fingers, we move it over, and then we just put those two down on E minor. So they're already in the shape that they need to be in. And just take a moment with that. You don't even have to strum, you can just silently switch. A minor, lift, E minor. Moving on, our next chord shape is D minor. And then we have a G chord. And switching from D minor to G, there's also a bit of a trick for that. We have our D minor, and if you play it with these three fingers, you have your third finger right there, you can leave that one down as you switch to G. So I can just kind of pivot off of that finger. Switching your chords this way and just practicing that movement over and over again and being really methodical about it, that's how you get better at guitar. I feel that people memorize mistakes a lot of the time, and I have to undo that. That's what I do for a job is, if somebody comes to me and they're having problems, even though they keep trying and they keep practicing, a lot of the times because they're practicing how to do it the wrong way or an inefficient way, and I'll help them out with that. So, really take your time making that efficient, because once we add the strumming pattern and stuff, you're not going to be able to focus on your chord hand as much. You're going to have to focus on putting it all together, and it's a bit too tricky if you don't work out those switches. And speaking of which, those are all the chord shapes we need to play the verse. So let's practice playing them in order. We're just going to be doing downstrokes only, keeping the strumming part really simple. We're not going to worry about that yet. Starting off on an A minor chord, counting along, making sure we're doing the right number of strums on each chord. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we go to D minor. Haven't said it, G. And then we would repeat all of that again, and that's what we do for the verse. So take your time with that. Make sure that you're counting it out, switching chords at the right times, because now we're going to move on to the strumming pattern, which goes like this. So that's a long one. I'll play it really slowly now. 3 and 4 and... And to learn it, we're going to break it up into a few pieces. First, so I'm going down, down, and then I mute the strings. Then I go down, up, and I mute them again. And to do that mute, all I'm doing is touching the strings with my hand. Just try it yourself. You just strum the strings and then touch them with your palm. See, I'm just touching my palm. And that just absorbs all the vibrations and stops them from ringing. That is really important for the rhythm to feel right in this song. So just get used to it. You know, try it yourself. Strum, mute, strum, mute. Maybe do an upstroke and then mute. Downstroke, mute, upstroke, mute. And just get used to muting it. And when we incorporate that into our strumming and our counting, it goes like this. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Really slowly. 1 and 2, mute. 3 and mute. So actually mute on the beat. You know, I want my muting to be part of the rhythm too. And for the second half, I'm actually going to overlap it. We're going to start off with that mute that we left off on. So our first half ended on a mute. 1, 2, 3, and mute. And that's on beat 4, so that's where we're going to start. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, mute, and really slowly. 1 and 2 and 3 and mute, and 1 and mute, and 3 and 4 and... Just take a good look at that really, really slowly. We have our mute on beat 4, followed by an upstroke, mute, up. Then we have another up, mute, up, down, up. The best way to get things like this is to just take a good look at it. Start off counting 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then try to incorporate some of the strums there. 1 and 2 and 3, you know, and just going through it really, really slowly, making sure that you can just get them all in order and do the right thing on the right beat. And once you can do that slowly, do it a whole bunch of times till you memorize it. You might have to come back to this one tomorrow, the day after that. But once you can play through it accurately, doesn't matter what speed, then you're going to be ready to speed it up, and it's going to be so easy. If you just try to go for it right away and just like, you know, it's just not going to turn out a lot of the time. Maybe it will, and lucky you if it does. You're one of the very few that works out for. But for most people, counting it out is the way to go. Anyways, once you can play that strumming pattern a few times in a row over a single chord, we're going to be ready to try it with the chords from the verse. So let's do that. We're going to play it nice and slow, a lot slower than the original recording. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. next we're gonna take a look at the chorus. And for the chorus, we need one new chord shape, that's F. And this is a really easy, effective way to play F. We could do the bar chord, and if you're down for that, great. If not, here's how we do this easier F chord. We skip the first string, first fret, second fret, third fret with my pinky, third fret with my ring, then I mute the lowest string with my thumb. And this part just uses 3 chords, the F, G, and A minor chords. And for the strumming, there's one little thing in it. We're gonna be on our F chord, and we're gonna do our strumming pattern like we just learned up to a certain point. We're gonna play it this far. And then we're gonna switch to G, and at the very end go down, down on the G chord. So we basically play like 3/4 of the strumming pattern. We go down, down, mute, down, up, mute, up, mute. And then on that mute, I like to change to my G chord. And I use this shape because it's quicker for my fingers, but you could use that one. And then we go down, down. And then we switch to the A minor and we do our strumming pattern like we normally would on A minor. And then we'll repeat that. And then when we get to the A minor, we're actually gonna split our strumming pattern between A minor and G. And this is gonna be really straightforward. We just do the first half of the pattern on A minor, second half on G. So we're changing on the second mute. Here we change, up, mute, up, down, up. So the chorus is actually a pretty short part, just has a couple rhythmic things. Take a moment with those. We're gonna play it together now, and you can always watch this part and rewind it and keep trying a few times just to make sure you're nailing it. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, next up is the bridge, and this is the easiest part of the song. The strumming is just 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. Like we just strum on beat 1 and then we count out the rest of the beats. We need one new chord shape for this, and that's a C chord. You know, that's one of the first chords that people learn, and if you need help with it, it's in my ebook. Anyways, this one's so straightforward and so simple. Let's just try it together. You know, we're just gonna be hitting each chord one time on beat 1. 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. You know, just strumming and counting. And I'm counting out loud. You'll wanna count out loud when you're practicing, but when you're performing, count in your head. And that's it. So let's just try this together nice and slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so that's all the rhythm for this song. Now let's take a look at how we can incorporate that melody into the intro. It goes like this. So the chords are the same chords from the chorus. So the first thing you gotta do is be really good at playing the chorus, the chords in the strumming pattern. You know, just being able to do that and make the switches and do everything at the right time. And basically what we're gonna do is just replace a little bit of the strumming with a tiny melody. It goes like this. Really simple. I put my pinky finger on the 3rd fret of the B string. Then I play the high E string open. Then I go back to the B string, my finger's still down, and then I play the 2nd fret on the G string. And And it's really important that you use your middle finger for it this time, because we're gonna go into our F chord, and that, lets us keep holding that note into F so that our song flows better. And now we're on our F chord and we're gonna strum it. And normally when we're playing the chorus, we would go to our G chord and go down, down. But here we're gonna replace that with that melody again. So, and then, but this time, I wanna use my third finger to finish it because we're gonna go into the A minor chord. And that's where our finger is on the A minor chord. And then we strum our A minor chord. And we don't finish the strumming pattern. Once again, we're gonna insert our melody at the end, and we just do that again. Since we're going into the F chord, we finish with our middle finger. Finish with our third finger. And that's just like the end of the chorus where we play A minor on the first half of the pattern and G on the second half of the pattern. So all we're doing is taking the chorus and just popping that melody in there at certain points. So take your time with this one. Take a look at the counting. That's always the most important part, and generally that's what people are missing when the song doesn't sound like the song. It's because they're not playing the right notes at the right time. Anyways, let's play that together super slowly. Maybe you can just watch this part, make sure that you're understanding what's going on, and then when you're ready you can try it yourself. Here we go. This is way slower than any other part of this song that we've played. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Alright, so that's how you play Losing My Religion by R.E.M. All in all, the chord part of this is pretty simple. It's mainly the rhythm and the strumming that makes this one a little bit more challenging. And, just take your time with it and you'll get it. If you need any extra help, don't forget, I have a couple resources. There's my free ebook and there's my beginner's course. Other than that, have a good one and I'll see you soon.